That settled on the field. How you guys doing today?
Livin. Can't
Every
complain.
day.
It's sunny out, and I'm happy about that. How you doing, Jip?
We're doing great over here in South Bend. Everybody's looking good. We're going to talk some Division II sports here on Settled on the Field.
All right, we've talked a little
D2.
D3. We've talked a little NAIA. Now
Yeah,
we're talking D2. All right.
yeah.
Tell
So,
us about D2.
so there's 300 schools in Division II. We got 23 conferences. 47 of the 50 states are represented in Division II. So, of course, we're going to have to talk. What are the 3 states not represented?
What are the 3? Delaware is going to be my first guess. That's always my guess. It's such a small state.
Delaware has it, but there's another small state that does not.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Gave it away in the question. I always like to start with Idaho, but I'll go with one of those something out west.
Wyoming, Maine, and Rhode Island are the 3 states
Okay.
without D3 or D2 schools. They do have one Canadian school, and they also have one Puerto Rican institute. So kind of cool. Where NAIA had a St. Thomas Virgin Islands, so D2 has Puerto Rico.
Nice. Get a little
Most
travel
schools
in.
are between 25 and 25,000 students, but most of them are right around 8,000 students. They so D2 athletes, they can get scholarships. So that's the biggest difference between D2 and D3. The D2 is a very, very competitive level of athletics. There's, championships. I believe it's 28 different sports. And so, I'm just all across the board. I think D2 is right up there with your D1 schools. They might not spend quite as much on scholarships, but it's available. And, I'm kind of excited about all the D2 championships coming for this winter. Anybody got the basketball? Liz, you got the basketball rankings, men and women?
I have got some rankings for us. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let's talk men's and women's rankings. This is week 11 for our top 10 women's D2 basketball teams. All right. So top 10 women's D2. Starting with number 10 is Harding. Harding's
solid.
Harding is solid. Harding, did they win? Did the men's win? What did they win last year?
Harding just won the D2 championship in football.
Football. D2 football championship. So
First
the
time
ladies in Harding are working on joining them there. They moved up from number 12 last week. Then we have Grand Valley State coming in at number 9 out of Michigan. Valdosta State out of Georgia is coming in at number 8. They moved up a spot. Jefferson, I believe, is in Philadelphia. They are staying solid at number 7. Ferris State is also in Michigan, number 6.
The Bulldogs.
We have Bentley. Does anybody know where Bentley is from?
No.
Virginia.
Appears to be Waltham, Massachusetts. Is Bentley. Then we have Union out of Jackson, Tennessee, coming in at a strong number 4. Gannon out of Erie, Pennsylvania is number 3. Ashland, which is in Ohio, I think about somewhere near Cleveland, but not quite that north. They are number 2, and number 1 this week is Southern Nazarene. They are 20-0, and they were number 1 last week as well, so they are holding strong to their number 1.
So a lot of solid records there. Good teams coming out of this D2.
D2 women's basketball, along with the D1 and D3 women's basketball, championships are going to be held at the American Airlines Arena in Dallas. So all 3 levels of women's hoops are going to be celebrated in American Airlines Arena.
Dallas, that's a big time. Nice. That's awesome. And so then we move on to our fellas here. Tied for number 9. So we do not have a number 10 right now. Tied for number 9, we have St. Martin's and Northwest Missouri State. So St. Martin's is out of actually Lacey, Washington. Lacey, Washington. Then we have West Georgia coming in at number 8. East Stroudsburg is number 7. They are also out of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's got some strong basketball teams. North Georgia is number 6. Dallas Baptist is number 5. And then we see Gannon again. I think Gannon is pulling in some great basketball players. They're out of Erie, Pennsylvania, once again. Minnesota State is number 3. They fell a little bit from number 1 last week, so they must have had a loss this week. Nova Southeastern is number 2, moving up from that number 3 spot. And finally, in number 1, we have West Texas A&M. Those are your top 10 for week 11 in men's D2 basketball team. Where is the D2 finals going to be held?
Evansville, Indiana.
I mean, Indiana, once again. We are the hostess with the mostest.
D2 in Evansville, D3 in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I'm glad we're hosting these championships. It's going to be pretty nice.
We are, I'm impressed. So we've got D3 is in Fort Wayne, D2 is in Evansville, and where is the NCAA finals this year? Do we know? Does anybody know?
We know, I think we get some first round games here in Indy.
We definitely have some first rounders, maybe even actually some second or third rounders down there at Pacer Stadium.
I see Jeb looking it up. While he's doing that, let me throw you the preseason baseball rankings for D2. I do see somebody from Indiana on these. So at number 10 is Augustana out of South Dakota. Number 9, Southern New Hampshire. Number 8, Colorado Mesa. Number 7, Millersville. And that number 6, we've got UIndy. Then number 5, Central Missouri. Number 4, Cal State San Bernardino.
All right.
Number 3, great to go to school in Tampa. And then number 2, North Greenville. And number 1 preseason for baseball is Angelo State.
Angelo State. I wonder where.
Well, there's a San Angelo, Texas, but I did not look it up to see where it is. I'm sorry.
So the D2 men's baseball championships held in Cary, North Carolina. That's a pretty big sports town. They do the D1 men's and women's soccer championships there every year. And the Division 1 men's basketball is in Arizona.
I could have guessed that. I think we all could have guessed that. That's where they seem to be going lately.
Yeah, so Angelo State is in San Angelo, Texas.
So UIndy, number 6 in the preseason rankings. So does everybody remember Brady Ware from last year? He's the one who had the no-hitter, and then he went on, he broke all kinds of records that year. He had the no-hitter, and then he hit for the cycle and pitched a no-hitter in the same game. So I think he graduated. I'm trying to see here. I believe he did graduate. So UIndy, again, also pulling in those hot players. They actually are talking about going D1 at UIndy. Last year, they actually voted on it, decided to wait a year. And I think they might be voting on it again. So it was a big part of that was how great their baseball team is, how great their football team is. They have a really good swimming team, and they're just a very well-rounded school when it comes to sports, and they just keep getting better. So I think we might see UND go Division 1 here in the next year or two. The only other Division 1 school in Indianapolis is IUPUI, which is now dividing into two. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. I haven't heard much about
it's going to be this fall.
If they're going to keep their sports or are they going to separate? That's something I've been interested to look into, so I'll get back to you guys with that.
All right, well, while you said something about Ashland and being over there in Ohio, I just had a flashback, a little memory of a story. So if I did go to St. Joseph's College, it was a D2 for one semester, and we drove a bus over to Ashland. On the bus, it's a big long bus. It's not a school bus. It was like, some United limo. You might be, used to those if you're going from South Bend to Chicago, or just a nice bus that has the colorful speckled seats. They're soft. There's two. We're riding over there, and we get to a toll booth on 80. We're on the toll, and look, I'm not listening to the driver. I don't know what's going on, but we either had to be weighed and the weight system wasn't working, or they had a major malfunction with the payment. We went through the toll, did a U-turn through the toll, another U-turn and line back up, went through the toll again and did it again. And we had no idea what we were doing. People were either cracking up, yelling. It was like, what the heck are we doing here? I think they needed to be weighed at the time. And it was just pretty funny, though. That's what I remember about Ashland.
Oh, wow.
I love when those stories come back to you, because that's probably not something you thought of for a while.
I've never told that story ever. Just popped in my head.
Well, hey, let me tell you a little story about when you were in 1995 St. Joe College Puma summer conditioning.
Oh, look at this cat.
Look at this guy.
Look at that crisp. Look at the condition of this book. Okay.
This is in very good condition.
mint condition.
Condition. Okay. SJC. Hey, look, I don't have my hat on, but I got the purple. I got a little purple gear on, representing.
We're talking 1995 D2.
Okay, you got to do
football.
that decline. Hit that decline press.
This was
Close
what
grip.
was sent to my man from the coaching
this
staff.
This is what for you to work on during the summer? Or?
Yeah, exactly. They sent it like at the end of spring. It was in high school, and they said, "Here you go. It's your summer conditioning." And you flip through this book, get some. Go ahead.
There's definitely kids that are watching this program that don't know what a typewriter is.
That's Dear Puma, typed out,
typewritten letter, signed by Coach Riva.
Hey, now, Jeb, why do you have that book?
You know what, Bill? When I was coaching high school football, you came to town, and I was talking up my team and everything I wanted to do. And you gave me, I actually have your playbooks from Ball State.
The Ball State playbook. That's in a 3-ring. That's in a 3-ring binder. Okay.
I have like 4 or 5 different notebooks, and it's kind of cool. I saw it this past summer, and so it's just been something I've kept all these years.
I'm just very impressed with your.
Maybe your boys want it one of these days, hopefully.
Hey, I've got in a different episode. I'll have to show you some of this other old memorabilia that I got around.
Nice.
Bill, you've got a lot of sentimentality, and I appreciate that. And Jeb, you must too, because I'm impressed that you still have that book.
I at my old house when Bill was in the Navy, I had like a hat, or I forget exactly what I had. A couple things from the Navy. I had a pair of gloves he wore in a football game. I had like a little Hall of Fame of all our buddies from college and high school, and
that's awesome.
That's nice. That's awesome.
Still have all that in a box now. Well, let's move on to our rule of the day. I know we've been talking a lot of baseball and basketball, but I'm going to jump back on hockey on you. So
I got my rule book out.
You got your rule books out?
I got my rule book out.
rule 619, hooking, right? So it's a real typical call in the game of hockey. Again, we talked about hockey a few episodes ago. There's basically two types of penalties. There's a 2-minute minor penalty. That's just your everyday, you did something wrong. There's also a 5-minute major penalty. So if you commit a major penalty, typically it involves injuring the other team or intent to injure, then that becomes a 5-minute penalty. And so basically, talking rule 619, hooking, and it says a minor or major penalty shall be called on any player who impedes or tries to impede the progress of an opponent by hooking with his stick. So the best
Does it
way
need to be the blade of the stick? Or can I use my butt end and put it in your chest and give a little pull back?
No, butt ending is a totally separate penalty in itself.
Different penalty.
Yep. So there's quite a few stick penalties. Butt ending is one of them. So with hooking, the best way to picture it is if you've ever been water skiing, right?
Yeah.
So when you water ski, you hold on to the tow rope, and the boat starts going, and you're kind of leaning back and you're going for a ride. So a lot of times you might hear the announcer say, it looks like he was going for a ride, because you're basically taking your stick and wrapping it around the puck carrier, and he's pulling you down the ice. So there's no intent to play the puck. Your stick's up off the ice, basically, so you're taking a ride. That's a 2-minute penalty for hooking. Really, hooking
can't be out there hooking.
Okay, I got a question. Why would you do that? Like, you're trying to slow him down from he's about to score, and you think you're going to slow him down, but it's worth it to you because you're going to stop
ahead of you. You see it a lot. They're just ahead of you, or he made a good move and got past you, and so then your stick ends up in his body somewhere, and you just kind of take a ride, and then you're going to go sit in the box for 2 minutes and watch the other team work the puck around the ice. So a nice simple rule of the day for you this week on USA Hockey Rule 619, hooking.
Taking a ride. Taking a ride. Thank you for that story.
Liz, you take us for a ride beyond the bench with some recruiting tips.
I'm going to take you for a ride. But first, I want to ask Billy, do you remember your recruiting story when you went to St. Joseph's Rensselaer? How did that go down?
Pumas.
The Pumas.
I think that's why you chose. You like that mascot.
I did like the mascot.
Awesome.
For those of you who do not know, St. Joseph's College does not exist anymore. The colors were purple. Okay. They were the Pumas. Let's see. I got a phone call from the coach. His name was from a DB coach. His name was Coach Kuhn. He looked like Jeb. He had a raspy voice like Jeb. He always reminded me of you. He invited me down to come take a look. So I went down there and I met up with him and the head coach, which his name escapes me right now. But we walked around. We toured the weight room. Now, the weight room at John Adams at the time I went there was really small. It was very lacking. And I thought the weight room was pretty decent. But they had their offices, I remember, like the running backs office, the O-line office were right off of the weight room. So I can't imagine. I'm thinking to myself, people must not be getting down in here, like causing enough problems for meetings to be interrupted. But I do recall we left that building, the football building, to go out the back into the where you can see the practice fields. And the Coach Kuhn, held the door open with a rock. Like he didn't want to get locked out. And I was like, this is pretty nice. It's like a family thing, like something you would do at your house. You know the ins and outs of the school and the building and all. And that like stuck in my head, like that's a reason to go there or something.
Interesting.
But, the visit was fine. And I did go there for one semester with Shannon Clark and several other South Bend heroes.
Nice.
Now, do you know how he got your phone number? Like, were you filling out paperwork? Were you mailing VHS tapes back then? Like, how are they finding you back then?
There was no online form to type in.
Certainly
I
not.
did send a VHS tape or two out, not to St. Joseph's College. Let's see. I would imagine they knew of me and reached out after. It was probably the timing thing where I didn't get picked up D1, and they saw a couple people still out there where they might want to see. Do you want to come play? And I had D3 offers. I was looking at probably DePaul with a W, Wabash, St. Joseph's College.
Paul, Wabash, Monon, Bell.
It's a
Monon
great
Bell,
game.
that would be a great game to attend.
I actually went as a visit to Wabash to that. But then the last school was University of Chicago. That probably is the best academic school, and I actually got in, so I should have gone there, but it's all good. It was one semester at St. Joseph's College was enough. It was actually smaller enrollment wise than John Adams High School.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And do you recall, did Coach Farrell help you with recruiting, or was that not part of their job back then?
R.I.P. to Coach Farrell. Bill Farrell. I don't know how much help he was. I don't think it was much. I think I got a phone call and I said I'll come down, and I drove, or I think I even drove myself down to go check it out. So there wasn't a lot of help going on.
No, that recruiting was not what it is today back then. Yes. Well, thank you for that story. And we'll move on to the tips. So today I want to talk about camps. I want to talk about your summer. It's only, we're about the end of the February, but guess what? Summer is around the corner. And every sport, I would say, most sports out there have camps in the summer where you can be spotted by these coaches. So a good question a lot of people ask is, how many camps do I need to go to? Listen, I would go to your top 3 at least, top 3 schools. And hopefully, maybe depending on what sport you play, maybe even your team goes to a camp and they maybe even fund that for you. That happens sometimes. If that's the case, don't count it, because these camps, they do cost money. And so not everybody is got money for camps, but if you're going to these college camps, they shouldn't cost much more than $50 or $60.
You talking a day-long camp?
Day camp. So a lot of schools out there will will have day camps where they can, find people. And then there's also big camps. There's the big camps where there's maybe 60 schools come to these camps. And then there's a lot more players there as well. But it's a win-win for both. It's a win-win for the player. You're getting to be seen. You may not get as many reps. You may not get to be in front of the coach as much as you would at a one-on-one camp, but there's many more coaches seeing you all at once. So I would advise going to, in football, it's called a mega camp. In baseball, they have show ball camps. And so I would advise going to probably one of those, and then trying to then go to 2 to 3 camps. The good thing about these mega camps is a lot of times they're at the beginning of the summer, and then you meet these coaches and they might invite you to their camp. If you're invited to the camp, go to that camp, especially if you're interested in that school. If you're not interested in the school, I wouldn't. If it's too far away in your mind, or it's just not a school that has the major you want, don't waste your time going to those camps. But if it is a school you are interested in and you get invited, I would definitely go to that camp because they've got you on their radar.
I got a question for you. What if we talked about in one of the episodes, knowing your body. What if you got some sort of injury? And it's your main school, do you want to go there and just show your face and stand on the sideline, or what do you think?
I would say it doesn't hurt to do that, but another good thing is that a lot of times they might have multiple camps. So I would definitely try to get out there and do a workout. If not, explain to the coach, I want to come, get their contact information, keep in contact with them, send them your film throughout the year. But don't put your body through something that it cannot handle, because you could end up with a much worse injury and then you're just not playing, period.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put yourself out there. If you're going to a camp, your team's going to the camp, you're injured, go. Go, you'll meet people, you'll talk to the coaches. That certainly can't hurt, but I wouldn't put yourself through it if you are injured. So definitely know your body and know your limitations. Even if you have a slight injury, you don't want to push yourself to the point where you become completely injured.
Give you a chance to just show you what kind of person you are too, though. Standing on the sidelines, you might get a chance to actually talk to that coach. You got your game film speaking one way, and if you're a well-spoken individual and just a good person, like we've talked about in the past, they're going to respect you for being there, and maybe you can ask a couple inquisitive questions and show that you care about the university or college and about their program. So
Yes.
something to be prepared for if you do go stand on the sidelines.
And when you're there, be sure you're talking to the coaches. You are there. This is your opportunity to speak to them. Don't go
advocate
and then
for yourself,
not introduce yourself. So you want to get out there, introduce yourself to the head coach, introduce yourself to the positions coach. And then the positions coach and the person who recruits your area may not be the same person. So a lot of times there is a recruiting coach who might be in charge of your area, and he might be the linebackers coach and you're a DB. Or in baseball, you might be the pitchers coach and you're a catcher, but that doesn't matter. That's the person that's assigned to your area. He's the one that you need to speak to, get their contact info, and make sure you're reaching out to them. But you're introducing yourself to your positions coach as well. You want them to know you and have their eye on you.
Yeah,
those are really, really good tips.
The camp scene is definitely a lot different than my time. I did go to Ohio State camp. It was like a week-long thing, maybe 5 days. That was the summer before my senior year. And also for basketball, I went to the 5-star Nike camp, which had all kinds of all-stars there. So some of these camps, you're going to see the different levels of athlete, and you'll be able to size yourself up and compete in front of the coaches and all the recruiters who are there. So,
and I would advise starting to go to those camps as soon, maybe like your freshman year, just to get used to it, because once they may not be looking at you as closely, but you'll be more comfortable when your time comes, introducing yourself, talking to those guys. And recruiting starts earlier and earlier as we talk about. Baseball is starting earlier and earlier. I would say freshman year, you're out there going to some camps. If you are going to be a senior and you play football, definitely this is anyone who's going to be a senior, get out there to those camps. If you are going to be a junior, it's a good time to go to camps as well, because again, there are juniors out there signing today their school, and they haven't even played their senior year. So it really is starting a lot earlier. So that's the tip of the day. Get out there, go to some camps, save your money, but be strategic. Okay? Be strategic. Don't go to camps that you don't want to go to that school. Don't go to a camp that's $350. Try to avoid those. That's a must not do. There's a lot of camps out there that they're trying to hook you. We'll talk about that on another episode as to how to look at which camps are good and which camps are maybe just trying to get your money. So on to you, Billy Crooper.
All right, the Walk On Warrior segment. Thanks, Liz. Look, I have told you, I think on a previous episode, it might have been the first one, I think I said something to the effect of, if I could do it, well, so could you. Now, you might take that on the surface and say, okay, yeah, he's right, I can do it. But that was wrong. That statement is wrong. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean it. Maybe I dominate every single day and I can do what I do because it's me.
What I'm saying is, you dominate, we can't do it.
I didn't say you can't do it. I can't say that you can't do it. Look, listen to this slowly. I believed that I could do it, so I could do it. If you believe that you can do it, then you can do it. It has nothing to do with me, or nor anybody else, nor a coach saying, "Hey, you're fifth string, you might as well quit." None of those people have the ability to get into your mind as if you can believe you can accomplish something. I would just advise, believe in yourself, because if you don't, who else will do that? How do I do that? I mean, I still do it today. I have a word, and my brother Matt, he played football at Valparaiso, and they used to have it was a football shirt, and it said, it was probably a play on the Nike just do it, but it said, don't just do it, and it said don't just play, dominate. And so dominate was on the back, and that's my one word mantra: dominate. You guys have probably heard me say it 1,000 times. I used to say it when I was in the Navy. I had one guy in my last duty station call me the Dominator because I always said dominate. But I don't just walk around going dominate, dominate. I say it in my head, right? And I'll say it to myself before I'm going to do something. Take a deep breath. I'm going to dominate right here. No reason to be worried, right? No need to be nervous that you're going to be on camera or standing up in front of an audience, giving a speech, or in class. I have to do this report. Just get up there and do your best. That's all you really need to do. So that's the punch of the day. That's the advice. And then since you brought up the camps, I flashed back to the Ohio State thing. When I showed up there, they did a little test. They did tests on dips. How many dips you can do. So that's the upper body dip, upper body
dip. When I dip, you dip, we dip.
Yeah, everybody's got their gonna be dipping some, snacks here soon, but
some fun dip.
The dip, man, that will work out your triceps, your chest. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for coaches or strength and conditioning coaches to test you out on to see if you're working that upper body. And then for the lower body or / cardio workout, I'm going to quote my old freshman basketball coach and track coach, Earl Harper. He used to run the 400 meter, and he would call the 400 meter, I believe,
the man's race.
It was the man's
I've heard
race.
this one before.
Okay, and the reason why I'm saying this one is because of that visit to St. Joseph's College. Guess what? It wasn't during the visit, but what did they test? I was a running back and a DB, and I show up for the first day of two-a-days, and every single player, whether you're a lineman or a cornerback or whatever, you had to run and be timed in the 400 meter.
Oof.
Okay, and you think it doesn't matter, but there, like I told you, there's some other South Bend heroes. James Turner from South Bend Clay was there, and my man ran track, and he ran the 400 meter. And guess who won the 400 meter?
James Turner.
James Turner. And guess who was the first string running back going into week 1? James Turner. There you go. Guess who was the first string running back going into week 2?
Billy Cooper.
Bill Cooper. That's no big deal. You can't give up, right? But he got injured. He hurt his ankle. But when that brass ring comes around, you guys snatch it up and be ready. 400 meter and some dips. If you don't have a dip station,
so are you asking us to run the 400 meter?
I mean, if you think you're going to go out there and run the 400 meter, I'd be happy to be there to watch.
I don't know if I'm good. I can walk it. I was jog it, maybe.
I was what I thought in shape for running 40s and 100s and running plays. It's a whole different story, that 400. You're going to be tired at the 200. You're going to be slowing down at the 300, and you might not make it around once. But, yeah, go out there and run the 400 and get that time up if you're a serious athlete.
How many dips we can do?
Oh, just
I'm going to get 0 dips, but I can get a 400 meter. But what's my time? Am I going to be over or under 2 minutes?
2 minutes is a nice. Look, 2 minutes is a nice steady pace if you're going to run a mile and a half.
Right. So over under, it's going to take me
a minute and a half. You got it.
No,
minute 40.
Isaiah runs a 400 in like 55 seconds or so. I mean, I don't know.
That's
I'm probably
nearly
220.
That's nearly world class speed. So what do you think the world record is for like the Olympics? Someone's going to run a
43
3.9 second. So yeah, if you could double that and then add some.
I am definitely going to be over 2 minutes, and I'm going to be happy if I make it in 4 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to run.
I don't have a time for you.
If I am
three of us, you just make it around, okay? If you're going to walk on a team, you need to get that time down.
Yeah, if you're walking on, you better get under a minute at least.
So world record's 43 seconds.
Sweet. Okay.
Is that Usain Bolt? Michael Johnson?
No, it's South African. Van Niekerk.
That does it for the Walk On Warriors segment and the Walk On Warrior workout of the week. Get your dips and your 400.
I'm looking forward to this one because I've been walking the track while Ian goes to weightlifting. So now I have a challenge. Now I got something I got to do while I'm there. I'm going to walk. Should I walk for a while and then do it? Or should I just run it? Just first thing?
You better warm your
better warm up. You better stretch. You better stretch and warm up always.
I hope nobody's out there. It's going to be embarrassing.
I'm gonna beat 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
All right.
My goal is to get it done in under 3 minutes. How about that? Okay.
Yeah, report back. But over to Jeb now for the Olympics, the update.
We got 164 days left till the Olympics. In Paris, 2024 Olympics. And I just want to give a little shout out to one of our USA Olympians that's already qualified. We're talking about Morel Big Bless McCain in the 66 kilogram weight class. Boxing. Cleveland, Ohio.
Qualifier for boxing.
Wow.
She won the 2023 Pan Am Games in Santiago, Chile. And that's how she qualified. She took silver in the Pan Am Games.
Nice. So you said she's from somewhere. You said Cleveland?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Man, Cleveland is representing today.
She likes the Cavaliers, listening to Drake, and eating tacos.
All right, let's have some tacos when you win.
My favorite thing about Big Blessed is her Instagram, $1 million Mo, $million_$Mo. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a follow and can't wait to see what she can do out there in Paris for the Team USA.
Let's go, Mo.
Let's go, Mo. We should get some shirts. Let's go, Mo.
Hey, Taco Bell should give the whole country a free taco on the Tuesday after she brings home the gold. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. I believe for Mo.
That sounds great. Let's go, Mo. I like it. I'm looking forward to the gold. I'm looking forward to a lot of USA gold this year.
Just excited. We're doing this and we're talking some Olympics. Like, you never really pay much attention to the lead up.
Yeah, it's always here before you know it. That's right.
Yeah, it's here, gone. Like, there's some really cool stories while it's going on. But, I mean, I think people are going to be going into the Olympics. I'm definitely all about Mo. And
yeah, we'll try to keep you updated. All right, so I got a trivia question for you all. It's D2 related. Who in D2 basketball scored the most points ever in a game? And for the bonus, how many points?
In one game.
In one game. Not a career, one game.
I'm going to go Jackie McWilliams Parker.
Wow. All right.
I think she scored 73 points in a female game.
Man, that's a good guess.
All right.
She might. That's just my guess. Jeb?
Jeb, you got to guess.
I mean, the only legit D2 guy I know from back in the day, it's got to be from back in the day, is Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Earl
and
the
maybe
Pearl.
like 65 points.
All right, so those are both good guesses. I do see, just so you know, Earl the Pearl Monroe had the most in a season, 1,329. But the
Ooh.
highest points ever in a game is by Clarence Bevo Francis, which is who the award is named after, which we're going to update you on soon when it goes from 100 players to 50. And this man, Mr. Bevo Francis, scored 113 points back in 1954.
One game.
One game. It was Rio.
Evo. Wow, no wonder the award is named after him. He
He had 71.
Talk about dominating.
Dude, 71 field goal attempts to score 113, though.
Oh my goodness. That is
71?
incredible.
Yeah.
Why?
Hey, so the Bevo Francis Award we talked about, it's for division. What divisions?
It's D3, D2, and NAIA.
Right, best player.
And the last one was the top 100. We're going to whittle it down to the top 50.
Nice.
All right,
Best
looking
player.
forward to that.
I don't know if anyone's going to score 113, but they can still get that Bevo award.
Hey, Clarence Bevo Francis just scored again.
He's still scoring. Still scoring this day. All right. Thanks, guys. Great show. See you guys next time.
Watching this episode of Settled on the Field. To learn more, visit our website at settledonthefield.com. Please follow Settled on the Field at Instagram, X, Facebook, and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube.